What is it? All right, we are live. Can you guys hear me? Looking pretty new to this live streaming game, so but hi guys, thank you guys for checking out this impromptu live event today. We're going to be talking about Hanwha cameras. Specifically, we're going to be talking about project management and what that looks like for security installers, integrators, dealers. Hanwha cameras are really a great resource for security professionals, and we have other videos on our channel walking you through some of the Hanwha products and some of the features that these offer. But, but today we are going to be focusing on kind of the background. We're not going to look at any cameras. We're not really going to look into any web interfaces. We're just going to look at this program here, the Hanwha Wisenet Device Manager, which at first glance looks like just your typical device manager, right? It looks like anything that you'd log into to check out your camera's IP addresses, to change passwords, to manage settings, all that jazz. And that's true. This can do that. But it can also do a little bit more than what we're used to. So we're going to dive into this a little bit today in this live video. We might do some more content on this in the future if you guys still have any questions. But before we jump in, I do want to mention that the our channel has a filter for comments, because if we go live without any filters, and we've done that before, we end up getting in trouble with spammers. So be sure to subscribe to our channel if you want to comment on this live video. Let us know if you have any questions as we're going through this. It's just me today, so I don't have any experts on with me like Kyle, who's usually on here answering questions. So if you ask something about Hanwha cameras or video surveillance, there's a good chance I'm not going to know the answer right away, but we will definitely get the answer for you. So comment, feel free to share your thoughts, share your experience with Hanwha. And I'll just go ahead and pose a question first before we jump in here. What does project management look like for you if you are a security integrator, or if you're an installer, you have a lot of clients? Do you use some kind of client management system or project management system? I'm really interested to know what you guys use in terms of organization. Uh, Today, we're not going to be getting into general project management. We're going to specifically be talking about Hanwha cameras. Tons of project management software out there like Notion or Trello, and I love digging into tools like that and figuring out what all they can do. But these tools are very general, right? They're not for any one specific industry or any one specific type of product. Whereas the Hanwha Device Manager is specifically for IP cameras. Obviously, it's going to be for your Hanwha cameras. So not only can you manage your projects and organize everything into folder structures, but you can also manage your cameras right from here without having to jump into the web interface, without having to jump onto your NVR. It's a really nice software. And so I'm just going to stop talking and jump into it and show you what this thing can do. So to start, I'll say there are 3 layers of organization when it comes to the Hanwha Wisenet Device Manager. You've got your root folder, which I will show you here. For me, it's in my documents folder. If I come down here to Wisenet Device Manager, we can see that we have one folder in here called Nelly Security, which is this project that we're looking at here. When you open Hanwha Device Manager or the Wisenet Device Manager for the first time, you're going to be prompted to create a project. And once you create a project, you have to password protect it. And that project is saved right here on your hard drive. It's not saved in the cloud anywhere. It's right here, so you have full control over your projects. By default, it's in this Wisenet Device Manager folder in your documents folder, but you can put this anywhere you want to. And you can add as many folders to this as you want as well. So again, this is the first layer of organization. You can add a folder in here for each client. You can have client 1, client 2, and we can store our projects inside of these folders, or we can even take this another step and add another folder to that. Let's say you have clients in different states, so you can have all of your Oklahoma clients nested inside of one folder. Since this is on your operating system, you can organize this however you want to, whatever makes sense for you. But let me show you what this looks like inside the device manager. And this is what it looks like. Again, it looks like any standard configuration tool that you're going to see with UniView, R series, anything like that. We have the list of IP addresses for Hanwha cameras that are on our network, just like you would expect to see. But let me just show you some of the project management tools that we can use here. First, I'm going to click on project, and I can go to open project, and you can see that currently we only have one project, Nelly Security. That's this project right here. But I can either create a new project or add a project. The difference between these two is going to be if you are creating a new project, that's going to create a new project from scratch right here on your machine. But if you're collaborating with other people, maybe somebody sent you a folder, or maybe you're sending a folder to your client for them to manage their own system. If you have a team that you're sharing projects with back and forth, this is how you would add a project that's already been created. You can just drop the folder into your Hanwha Wisenet device management folder, add the project, and you're good to go. But for this, we're going to be creating a new project from scratch. So I'm just going to click new project. Here we can give it a name. And this is the second organization. So first you have your folder structure on your machine. Second, you're going to have the project. This is each project is independent from other projects. Each project is password protected. So we're going to name this, we'll call it client one. And you can see by default, we have the Wisenet device manager selected. But we can come in here again and we can put this anywhere we want. So I can go into my Oklahoma folder and my client one folder and hit OK. Since the project is stored right there in my client one folder, if I have any other documents or anything like that related to this client, I can store it right next to this project. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to hit apply. And again, we're going to have to create a password. Make this something that you're going to remember. I'm not sure if there's any way to reset this password. So I'm just going to call it admin for now, admin, and hit OK. And here we go. Our project is going to open up. I'm going to type admin, and we are here in our brand new project. And you can see again, we have our Hanwha devices here. None of these are installed. I believe these are all just set up in our production room, but we'll look at those more here in a second. As I mentioned, there are three main levels of organization: your file structure, your project structure, and next is your sites, which is up here inside of your project. Your site is going to be a hierarchical structure inside of each project. It's almost like if each project was able to have its own folders inside of it. That's what we're able to see here and accomplish with sites. So we can delete this site, maybe not since we only have one, but we can rename it. So for instance, well, new site. Let's rename this to building one. All right. And I can right click site. We're going to add a new site, building two. And essentially, we're building out the structure for this client's project, or maybe this isn't for a client. This could be just for yourself, for your own building. And what we're going to be able to do is nest cameras inside of these different folders. So that, for instance, if we were doing one for here at Nelly Security, we might have a warehouse folder. And then all of our cameras that are installed in the warehouse, we'd just throw right here into this folder. We might have a front office folder, a parking lot folder, and then we can just nest all of the cameras on our system into these folders, making organization super nice, super user-friendly. And I believe these are nestable. Let's try to make a site inside of a site. So building one, yeah, we can. Look at that. So building one, let's rename this to warehouse. Let's go ahead and add a tech room, and I don't know, maybe a parking lot. And then in building two, we'll have a front office and maybe a back office. So whatever structure makes sense to you. If some people might find it easier to have just one project. This could be your main project, and then each of these sites could be your own client. So I'm going to add a new site, client one, and then all of that client's buildings and rooms would be nested underneath that folder. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do here. Uh, again, based on what makes sense to you, what makes sense to your business, how your brain likes to organize things. You have a lot of control here with the different layers of organization. So right now I have just my client one. Let's go ahead and add two rooms inside just to uh, have some variety. Let's bring our warehouse back and a parking lot. Now you can see when I click on these, Over here on our main menu, there's no cameras to see. That's because we don't have any cameras saved on our actual sites. So to fix that, I'm going to come up here and click search. And again, we are searching only for Hanwha cameras. And you can see down here under products, all devices, we have our four devices. I believe this is a NVR and then three cameras. So if I wanted to put this camera into client one's warehouse, it's as simple as clicking it and dragging it over and dropping it in. All right, so now you can see we are selected on this folder here, and we have our camera added to just the warehouse. For the parking lot, it's not there. One thing about this is when you're on an outer folder or a higher folder in the hierarchy, like client one, you can't see the individual cameras inside. So what I like to do when I'm messing with this is take the same camera that I just put into the warehouse. I'm going to come back to all devices. That's 7012R. Is it the which one was it? ANEL 7012R. ANEL 7012R. I like to take the same one and drag it into client one too, just so I can see the same camera, whether I'm looking at the full folder or the subfolders inside. So then let's go back to all devices. And what you see down here is not inside of your folder structure. This doesn't include what you're seeing in the sites. This is just the products that are on your current network. And right now, I don't think there's any way to tell which of these are added to sites and which are not. But you can filter this down if you need to, so we can see only the cameras that are on our system. We can see only the cameras that we're logged into, which right now we're not logged into any. They all have login fail here because we just started up this project. We haven't put in any passwords, so we're not actually logged into these cameras yet. And we don't have any that are ready, obviously. But we can also filter this by recorder. This one is ready to go. Um, Again, this is a brand new project, so I'm not quite sure how that one is already ready. It must have been pre-configured somehow to match the settings that are already in here. If we had a DVR on our system, we'd see that here, and a decoder, anything like that. Most of you, I would assume, are just going to be concerned with IP cameras and recorders, but you can filter this again however you need to. I'm just going to go back to all devices, and now we're going to drag the L7082R. Let's put this one in the parking lot. And there we go. We have our 82R added to the parking lot. So I can click around these different folders, see our different cameras. I'm also going to add that to our client one. So now when we click on client one, we can see all the cameras that are inside there, but then we can go further and see just what's in their warehouse and just what's in their parking lot. So it's a really cool tool. I like it. It gives us a lot of organization that maybe some of us are lacking, like myself. It helps us stay organized. But aside from that, it's also a configuration tool, just like everything else you've seen. So once you have organized all of your cameras for your clients, you can use this to manage their cameras as well. So that's what we're going to do right now. So let's say we go to our first client. Uh, I will say this is all based on the local network. This is not in the cloud. So if you're using this method to actually manage your clients' systems, you need this on your laptop or something, so you could bring it there. Or again, you can share folders, put the folder in your Dropbox, and you can access this on your client's computer, whatever you need to do. As long as you're on the same network as your client's cameras, you'll be able to log into them. So here's our warehouse. We have this camera added. This camera's not actually in our warehouse. It's just for demonstration purposes. And let's see what we can do here. I'm going to click on it and click credentials just so that I can go ahead and log into it. And I probably should have checked beforehand what the passwords are for this stuff. Let's see. If I wanted to change the password, I could click that and we can add a new password here. There we go. We logged in just fine. If these were brand new cameras, keep in mind that Hanwha does not have a default password set on their cameras or their NVRs. So if you're setting these cameras up for the very first time, you're gonna have to set your password. In hindsight, I probably should have set up a brand new camera on one of our switches so that I could show you what that looks like. This camera had been set up before on in past videos that we've done. If it was a brand new camera, you could set the password here as well and log into it all in one fell swoop. So I'm gonna click. I already hit apply, so I can exit out of here. And now you can see that our parking lot camera still has this caution sign. Our warehouse camera, however, has a green check. We are logged into it, and oh, nice, we do have a camera installed outside. When I hover over it, we can see a little preview there of the live view and some information just giving us a little status of the camera, whether it's online or not. So just imagine if you had a whole uh, screen full of cameras and you had no idea which camera you needed to look at. You can just come through here and hover over each of them and get a small thumbnail image of what it looks like. Again, just a really fast way to find what you're looking for. Let's log into everything now because I think everything's going to have the same password. So let's log in, choose one or more devices. So I'm going to hold down Control. I'm going to click on everything. Well, that one's ready, I think. Why does it say question mark? Anyways, log in, change password. You can do this all at once. You can change the password to everything all at once. I'm not going to do that. I think it's going to be the same password. Fingers crossed. Cool. And it looks like everything is now logged in and on our system. Loading fail, loading fail, but we are getting the green check mark, so it might still just be connecting. Our NVR right now, it doesn't have any cameras added to it, but let's see what else we can do here. I can right click and go into a live viewer, and that's going to pull this up. This is still in the Hanwha Wisenet camera device viewer. This isn't in my web browser. I can see a live view of the camera now. We can see it's really smooth. This isn't the iframe, this isn't the thumbnail. This is the actual live stream coming through. We can see status monitors and updates and graphs and all kinds of crazy things. If this is a PTZ, we could control it from right here. Again, staying in the same program, not having to click on a bunch of different tabs, not trying to uh, not having to switch your screen back and forth. Everything is super easy, super convenient, and ready to go. We can take a snapshot if we need to. I wonder where it saves it. We can tell it where to save it. So let's just save it on my desktop. Cool. We can also add it to a site through the right click menu. And all these other features are available to us from changing the language, adjusting the IP address, restarting the camera. And since this is a multi-device configuration tool, we can select all of these and we can assign IP addresses to all of them at the same time. So we can do it automatically through DHCP, or we can give all of these cameras an IP address starting from a certain number. So we can say we want it to start from 150. And then since there are 3 cameras that I have selected, it's just gonna automatically add them to 50, 51, and 52. So really fast way to change multiple IP addresses at once. We can upgrade firmware. We can check for the firmware update, but since these are cameras, and not an NVR, we would have to upgrade these manually with an actual firmware file on our computer. So I hope I didn't just break it by having it check. Let's see. What is my mouse doing? That's weird. Is it showing up for you, Matt? Oh, man. All right. Firmware status has been updated. Has it been doing that this whole time? It has? Oh, dang. Okay, well, um, we can, upgrade the firmware here. If we had the file, we would, well, we have nothing selected. Sorry, I'm distracted now by my mouse. Select everything, go to firmware, upgrade, and, you can navigate to the files where you have the firmware saved. Let's actually pick the NVR 'cause it's gonna be able to have, cloud upgrades. So let's upgrade, um, well, maybe not. What happens if I click download? I should probably stop clicking things that I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, I think what's happening right now is I'm actually downloading the firmware of the NVR to my documents folder. Cool. Well, no, I don't wanna do that. Let's exit out of there. Let's see, is there anything else I'm missing? I think I've pretty much shown the majority of features for the Hanwha device manager. Everything else, exactly what you'd expect to see on a device manager. Um, it is, I'm trying to figure out why this is a question mark and not a check mark. Anyway, I think that about covers it for this walkthrough of the Hanwha Wisenet device configuration tool slash project management tool. I hope you guys found it interesting and learned a thing or two. Um, Again, this is specifically for Hanwha cameras, so if you are installing Hanwha, this is great for you. If you're not installing Hanwha, you can check out the other videos on our channel. We have a whole playlist. We'll leave that link down in the description below once this live is uploaded to YouTube. And you can go check out the other videos, learn more about why Hanwha would be an excellent security camera for you and your business. Just like the organization it provides in the device configuration tool, Hanwha is full of features like this specifically for security integrators and security professionals. It makes your business so much easier to manage. It makes customization for your clients so much easier to manage. So definitely check this out. I see a question about expanding the Hanwha selection. We are definitely planning on expanding it at some point in the future. Right now, we just have the A series line. I don't know about timetables when we're looking at expanding, but I do know we're very interested in getting more Hanwha products in our catalog. We are want to expand beyond the A series. The A series is more of the cost-effective entry-level line. There's so much more to explore with Hanwha. We're definitely looking forward to jumping into that. If you guys have any questions about Hanwha or any questions about the device configuration tool, definitely leave those in the comments below. We look for comments every day. We love interacting with you guys down there. You can also send us an email, customer service@millisecurity.com. Give us a call. All of our contact information is in our description. Follow us across social media if you're interested in security content like this. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Happy installing, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you guys so much.